I've really gotten bored with this anime, and so I turned up the speed. I can't lie. I turned up the speed to this episode of this anime called Culture Exchange with a Game Center Girl. So I really just sped it up. I was like, this is gonna be another, you know, cute girls doing cute things again. The controversy of the Lily, she's a British girl liking a Japanese guy who's 18, 19 years old and in college just got tiring for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just too kiddie to honestly to really care. I'm pretty sure nothing's gonna happen. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just done with this anime. But here they hosted a tournament. It's a fighting tournament. It really reminded me of the bygone era of just enjoying watching a Taken 4 tournament or Taken 5, the Tekken, the Tekken tournaments. That's what it really reminded me of. And then it further reminded me of the bygone days of when I was a gamer. You know what I'm saying? When I was a gamer and I played Blade and Soul. I think that's the only it really had my soul. You know what I'm saying? It was truly Blade and Soul. It was really just one of the greatest open world RPG. Oh wait, did I say that? Did I say that right? RPG, I mean RMPG. I'm still stuck in work because there's a label called RMP. Well, anyways, RPG, game, open world, MMO. And so within that MMO, of course, we had a lot of PvP, and PvP is what really dominated within that game. You can do obviously you can do like open world PvP. You could do you can do the normal 1v1s, 3v3s, and then they had 6v6. I don't know where it went beyond that. And of course, you had the clan battles, and then you had the dungeons, solo dungeons, and the multi dungeons. Where you have to have like 20 plus people in it. And so it just really reminded me of those days of how I just enjoyed, playing 1v1s, and you would have these fights and they would just become so good, especially if people are actually watching these fights. They're spectating these fights. There is a special, thing you could do. You could spectate a fight. And then within the fights, you would have one side a summoner, the other side, well, a blade master or destroyer, whatever. And the fights would get to the point where you're just having so much fun. It didn't matter who won. Of course, the winner is gonna be the winner and loser is gonna be the loser. But at the end of the day, it was just such a good fight that everybody wins. Obviously, it's not great losing, but that's the point. They both had. I remember being in so many battles where my HP was literally at 1% and I barely clutched the fucking win. You know what I'm saying? Or towards the end of a 6v6, I'm 3v1. I'm like, this is like 3v1. You know what I'm saying? It's like three people are trying to battle me, but somehow I just use a lot of art, quick thinking, quick skills, some CCs here and there, and some, I forgot what the fuck they're called. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? And then so because I'm, fighting against three other people, now I got more people on the field to capture the flag or capture the enemy base. Oh man, there were just so many good times. And that's what this anime has done. It has just look how much fun they are having. They're sparkling despite being in this total war, total battle, very passionate. The only other time this ever happens is maybe in a sport. But even then in a sport, I just feel like it's more like work. You know what I'm saying? Getting all beat up in real life and shit. I don't think I ever felt like that in an actual sport. Unless I was actually like just goofing off. But here, in gaming, you could really just give it your all, your full attention. And be able to be there. And go through this amazing experience. So I can tell you right now, it does take some type of mental athleticism to be able to just game for hours and just be on these tournaments for like I said, hours on end. A lot of waiting, and you can see here this is the ones who are fighting. Momoko on the left, and then on the right, who is that? Karin, yeah, Karin. And so they both had this really passionate fight, and honestly, I gotta say bravo. This episode was just such a fucking excellent demonstration of what gaming really is about and what gaming has done for me. And it just reminded me that there have been many grueling, grinding times, but at the end of the day, it's these times right here that really truly resonate with you, and it reminds you that gaming at the end of the day is all about having fun and giving it your best shot, just like a sport. I'm saying if you want to goof off, that's fine, but in my opinion, I think it's just way more fun if you actually give it your all. Nothing left on the table, just like in a sport, honestly. But yeah, like I said, I really I'm burnt out with this anime, but here it finally opened my eyes. It reminded me what gaming is all about. But that's the other thing though, right? I gotta say this before I close this out. It's like they just game like, these arcade games. It's fine, you can play arcade games, but I don't think that's real gaming. Like the claw machines, is that really gaming? Yeah, sure, to an extent, yeah, but I think they should really just stick to this certain type of gaming. You know what I'm saying? There's 1v1s, Tekken 4 vibe-ish games competitively.